You know what's fascinating about human behavior? People will tell you all day long who they are, what they feel, and what they want, but not always with their words. Some do it with action, some do it with silence, and some, especially avoidants, they do it in the shadows. They guard their heart like a fortress. But here's the truth. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, their private world gives them away. They may never scream it out loud, but behind closed doors, their actions shout 1,000 truths. And if you've ever wondered, do they even care? Do they even think about me when I'm not around? The answer might shock you, because what avoidants do in privacy can reveal an obsession stronger than anything they'll admit face to face. So lean in, because I'm about to show you 7 powerful signs of what avoidants secretly do when they're hooked on you. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, the first thing they do in private is replay conversations in their mind over and over again. They can appear cold, indifferent, or emotionally distant on the surface, but in the hidden corners of their inner world, they are anything but detached. They will take the smallest exchange you had with them, a smile, a word, even a glance, and mentally revisit it like a song stuck on repeat. It's not just about remembering what you said, it's about dissecting every detail, trying to decode the meaning, the emotion, the intention behind it. They'll ask themselves, why did you say it that way? What did that pause mean? Did your smile carry a hidden message? For them, the replay becomes a private obsession, a mental loop that won't turn off. What's fascinating is how much weight they give to the smallest details. While you might brush off a simple, "take care," at the end of a conversation, to them, that phrase could keep them up at night. They'll question whether you said it casually, whether you meant it deeply, or whether it was your way of showing affection. They'll notice the way your voice rose slightly when you laughed, or how your eyes softened when you looked at them. These little cues, insignificant to most people, become the breadcrumbs they follow in private, leading them deeper into their fixation on you. And here's the paradox: while they're replaying every word, they're also replaying their own responses. They'll critique themselves, wondering if they said the wrong thing, if they revealed too much, or if they should have acted differently. They'll imagine alternate versions of the same conversation, rewriting it in their mind until it fits the outcome they secretly wanted. Maybe they wish they were bolder, maybe they wish they hadn't pulled back so quickly. Maybe they wish they had said the words that were burning inside, but stayed locked behind fear. The replay becomes a mental rehearsal, a chance to live out what they were too guarded to express in the moment. This inner cycle of replaying is also fueled by their need for control. Avoidants are terrified of vulnerability, and replaying conversations gives them a sense of mastery over emotions they struggle to handle in real time. It's safer for them to analyze your words in private than to confront the intensity of their feelings in person. But make no mistake, this constant mental replay is not casual thinking. It's obsession. It's proof that you've taken root in their mind, that your presence lingers even when you're not around. They may avoid you in the physical world, but in the private theater of their mind, you are the main character, and every conversation becomes a scene they cannot stop watching. When an avoidant is secretly obsessed with you, one of the strongest things they do in private is quietly watch you from a distance. On the outside, they may appear withdrawn, uninterested, or even dismissive. They may act as if they don't care where you are, what you're doing, or who you're with. But behind the mask of detachment, they are observing you in ways you might never notice. They'll check your social media accounts late at night, scrolling through your posts, replaying your stories, and studying your pictures. They won't leave a like, they won't comment, they won't give you the satisfaction of knowing they were there, but they were. They consume your updates in silence, making sure they stay connected to your world without exposing themselves. This silent monitoring is their way of keeping you close while still maintaining control. Avoidants fear vulnerability, so they avoid openly showing their feelings. But obsession has a way of bypassing their defenses, and watching from the shadows becomes their secret outlet. They want to know how you're doing, if you're happy, who you're spending time with. And the truth is, when they're obsessed, your life becomes a highlight reel they can't stop tuning into. Every little post, every picture, every word you put out into the world becomes material for their private daydreams. It goes beyond just social media. In real life, they notice things without ever pointing them out. They'll pick up on the way you change your hairstyle, the music you mention you love, or the new places you visit. They might overhear conversations, pick up subtle cues, or gather details through mutual connections, all while pretending they're not paying attention. The irony is that while they act detached, they're often far more observant than the people who openly show their interest. Their silence doesn't mean they don't see you. In fact, it means they're watching so intently that they can't risk giving themselves away. What makes this so powerful is the contradiction. They want to stay hidden, but their obsession keeps pulling them closer. They may even build private rituals around checking up on you, almost like a secret routine they can't skip. They'll check your updates at the same time every day, scroll back through old conversations, or search for traces of you when they feel your absence. They'll never admit it, but these hidden behaviors are their way of staying connected to you when the fear of closeness keeps them from being upfront. The reason they do this is simple. Your presence matters to them more than they're willing to confess. Watching you quietly gives them both comfort and torment. It feeds the obsession while protecting their fear of rejection. And though you might never catch them in the act, their private world reveals a truth their outer world tries so hard to conceal. When they're obsessed with you, they can't help but keep you within their sight, even if it's only from the shadows. When an avoidant is secretly obsessed with you, one of the most intense things they do in private is argue with themselves about you. Inside their mind, there is a constant tug of war that never seems to stop. On one side is their desire for you, the pull they feel when they think about you, the undeniable magnet that keeps drawing them back. On the other side is their fear of rejection, fear of being vulnerable, fear of losing the control they've worked so hard to maintain. This battle plays out like a never-ending debate inside their head, and it often leaves them exhausted, but also unable to let you go. They'll go through entire conversations with themselves, trying to rationalize why they shouldn't care so much. They'll tell themselves, don't get too close. Don't let your guard down. If you don't care, you can't be hurt. But the obsession won't let them off the hook that easily. Almost immediately, another part of them will rise up and counter, but you miss them. You think about them all the time. You can't deny how alive you feel when you're near them. This back and forth can happen dozens of times in a single day, like a storm inside their chest. What makes this so powerful is how real these arguments become for them. They don't just casually think about you, they wrestle with themselves over you. They'll justify their distance by saying they need space, but in the same breath, they'll wonder if pushing you away will cause them to lose you completely. They'll convince themselves that they're better off detached. Then minutes later, they'll imagine what it would be like if they just surrendered and let you in. The obsession feeds the conflict, because the more they try to fight it, the stronger the pull becomes. This internal struggle often spills into their behavior in ways that can be confusing. One moment they'll act cold and distant, as if you don't matter at all. But that's not rejection. It's them siding with the protect yourself voice in their head. The next moment, they might show sudden bursts of warmth, vulnerability, or intense attention, as if they can't hold back anymore. That's the other side breaking through, the part of them that's hopelessly drawn to you. What you see on the outside may look inconsistent, but inside it makes perfect sense. It's simply the war between fear and desire, playing out in real time. This private arguing is one of the clearest signs of obsession, because nobody argues with themselves over someone they don't care about. They could choose indifference. They could choose to walk away, but instead they remain stuck in the loop, battling thoughts of you again and again. And even though you may never hear those arguments, they are proof that you've taken up permanent residence in their mind. For an avoidant, that is both terrifying and irresistible, and it's exactly why they can't let go. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, one of the most powerful things they do in private is create vivid fantasies of a future with you. On the surface, they may act detached, rational, and uninterested in anything long-term, but when they are alone, their imagination betrays them. They let themselves picture scenarios that they would never confess out loud. They'll imagine what it would feel like to wake up next to you, to take trips with you, to laugh with you in the little moments of life. They'll see themselves walking beside you, building a life together, sharing experiences that they don't allow themselves to dream of with anyone else. In their private world, you are not just someone they like. You are the person they secretly hope could be theirs. These fantasies often come out of nowhere. It could be something simple you said in a conversation or a memory they replayed that suddenly blossoms into an entire daydream. They'll think about the two of you cooking dinner together, driving through a city at night with music playing, or introducing you to people who matter to them. Even though they fear closeness in reality, their inner mind becomes a safe space where they can drop the walls and indulge in what they truly want. For them, imagining a future is far less threatening than taking the risk of actually creating it. But the very fact that they can't stop fantasizing about you reveals how deep their obsession runs. What makes this especially intense is that their fantasies often feel more real to them than the present moment. Because avoidants struggle with vulnerability, they rarely allow themselves to fully experience connection face to face. But in their imagination, there are no barriers, no fears, no walls. In their mind, they get to be their fullest selves, open, loving, expressive, unguarded. And it is in these private moments that you see the truth. They don't just want you casually, they crave the kind of bond that scares them in real life. Sometimes these fantasies turn into rituals. Before they fall asleep, they might imagine you lying next to them. When they hear a song, they might envision the two of you dancing to it. When they walk past a place, they picture what it would be like if you were there with them. These thoughts become their escape, their comfort, their private way of holding on to you without having to risk rejection or exposure. And while they may deny or hide these feelings in conversation, their imagination doesn't lie. It reveals a longing they can't push away, no matter how hard they try. The most striking part of this is that they don't create these fantasies with just anyone. They reserve them for the people who impact them the most deeply. If you've ever been the star of an avoidance imagination, it's because you touched them in a way that broke through their defenses. And while you may never hear these dreams spoken aloud, they are happening constantly in the background of their mind. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, their inner world is already building a life around you, even if their outer world is still pretending to keep you at arm's length. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, one of the most revealing things they do in private is hold on to little reminders of you. They might seem like the kind of person who lets go easily, who detaches and moves forward without carrying baggage, but the truth is quite different. When you've left a mark on their heart, they cling to pieces of you in ways you would never imagine. It could be as obvious as a picture they never delete from their phone, or as subtle as a text message buried deep in their conversations that they revisit again and again. Even though they may not tell you, these reminders become their private treasures, proof of your presence in their life. Sometimes it's physical objects that anchor them to you. Maybe it's a gift you gave them, something as simple as a keychain, a book, or a piece of clothing. On the surface, these items don't mean much, but to them, it's a connection to you that feels irreplaceable. They'll keep it tucked away, hidden from the world, but they know it's there, and the sight of it pulls them back to the moments they shared with you. For someone who struggles with closeness, these small objects become safe ways of holding you near without the risk of being exposed. Other times, the reminders are less tangible but just as powerful. A song that reminds them of your energy, a scent that brings back memories of being near you, a phrase or inside joke that echoes in their mind. They'll find themselves replaying these triggers like a secret playlist, indulging in the feelings they can't openly express. To others, it looks like they're fine, composed, and detached, but inside, they are surrounded by the invisible presence of you, carried through these reminders. This habit also ties directly into their fear of loss. Avoidants often struggle to show their emotions directly, so instead of telling you how much you matter, they let these keepsakes do the speaking. Holding on to them becomes their way of saying, "I can't let you go, even if I pretend I can." It's their silent admission of how deeply you've gotten under their skin. And when they're alone, when no one else can see, They might take out those reminders, revisit those texts, play that song, and let themselves feel the very emotions they try so hard to suppress in public. The paradox here is that the more obsessed they are, the harder they'll try to hide it. They won't put these reminders on display because that would make them vulnerable. Instead, they protect them like secrets, only bringing them out in private moments when they can safely indulge in their obsession. And while they may act like they're not sentimental, those reminders prove otherwise. They're not just holding on to objects or memories, they're holding on to you tightly, even if you never see it. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, one of the most powerful private battles they fight is testing themselves by staying away. To the outside world, it can look like disinterest, silence, or even rejection. But in their hidden reality, this act of distance is not about forgetting you. It's about proving to themselves that they can. They deliberately pull back, thinking if they create space, they will weaken the attachment, calm the obsession, and regain control. Yet, what usually happens is the complete opposite. The more distance they create, the more they realize just how deeply they feel. Every moment of silence only sharpens the ache of missing you. For avoidants, closeness is terrifying. It threatens their sense of independence and stirs up fears they don't know how to handle. So their instinct is to run, to test their ability to exist without you. They'll tell themselves, I need space. I'll feel better if I step back. They might avoid your calls, delay their replies, or keep themselves busy with distractions. But in the quiet moments, when the noise fades, the emptiness creeps in. That's when they discover the truth. Staying away doesn't erase their feelings. It magnifies them. What makes this test so significant is that it exposes the depth of their obsession. Someone who truly doesn't care won't need to test themselves. They won't wrestle with the urge to return or feel restless in the absence. But an avoidant who is obsessed will go through cycles of withdrawal, only to find themselves pulled back into your orbit. It's like trying to hold their breath underwater. The longer they force the distance, the more desperate they become to come up for air, and that air is you. This cycle of testing can be torturous. They may convince themselves they're doing the right thing by keeping away, yet every attempt only shows them how powerless they are against the pull they feel toward you. They'll check their phone to see if you've reached out, even while they're telling themselves not to care. They'll wonder what you're doing, who you're with, if you've noticed their absence. The silence that was supposed to bring relief becomes louder than any words could be. The truth is, this distance is not rejection, it's confirmation. It proves that you've broken past the walls they've built. It shows that they can't escape the impact you've had on them, no matter how hard they try. Every mile they put between you, every day they go without reaching out, only reinforces the undeniable truth: the obsession is stronger than the fear. And though they may never admit it, the very act of testing themselves by staying away is proof that they are already deeply, unshakably attached. When an avoidant is obsessed with you, one of the most telling things they do in private is practice vulnerability in their own mind. To the outside world, they may appear closed off, difficult to read, or unwilling to share emotions, but behind closed doors, when no one is watching, they allow themselves to rehearse the words they wish they could say. They'll picture what it would sound like to confess their feelings, to admit how much they miss you, or to tell you how deeply you've affected them. In their imagination, they drop the shield, and for a few moments, they taste the freedom of being open. It feels real to them, even if those words never make it past their lips. This practice of vulnerability is their secret way of working through the emotions that terrify them in real life. They'll replay scenes in their head where you're sitting across from them, and they finally say, I care about you more than I can explain, or I don't want to lose you. They may rehearse apologies they're too proud or too afraid to give, or declarations of love they're too guarded to speak. These private rehearsals can be long, detailed, and emotional, and even though no one else hears them, they matter because they show that the desire to open up is there, hidden beneath layers of fear. What makes this so powerful is that it exposes the contradiction at the heart of every avoidant. They crave closeness, but they fear it. They long to be understood, but they protect themselves from being known. So, in private, they create a safe space where they can say everything they hold back. It's like training for a moment that may never come, but needing to live it in some form because the emotions are too strong to ignore. If you've ever wondered whether an avoidant truly feels anything, this private rehearsal is proof that they do, sometimes more intensely than anyone else. Often, these inner conversations happen in the quietest parts of their day. When they're driving, when they're lying in bed at night, when they're showering, moments where the mind wanders and the heart takes over. They'll imagine your reaction, your smile, your warmth, and they'll play out the dialogue as if it were real. Sometimes they even whisper the words under their breath, practicing how it would sound, how it would feel. They may never share it with you directly, but in their private world, they've already confessed 1,000 times. This hidden vulnerability is not weakness, it's proof of obsession. You've penetrated the walls they swore nobody could break, and even if fear keeps them silent, their mind reveals the truth. They're not indifferent, they're overflowing. The very fact that they rehearse these words in secret shows that they want to connect with you, even if they can't yet find the courage to let the words escape into the open air. When you look at the private world of an avoidant, you discover something most people never see. Beneath the armor, beneath the silence, there is a heart that feels deeply, loves fiercely, and obsesses quietly. Their distance is not absence. Their silence is not indifference. It is fear dressed up as control. And if you've ever wondered whether you matter to them, whether you've left an impact, the signs are clear. The conversations they replay, the silent watching, the arguments in their mind, the fantasies of a future, the little reminders they keep, the tests of distance, and the rehearsals of vulnerability all point to one undeniable truth. You are not just passing through their life. You've left a mark that even they cannot erase. What makes this journey so powerful is the paradox it reveals. Avoidants appear strong, independent, untouchable, but in private they are anything but detached. They are consumed, conflicted, and captivated. Their obsession doesn't shout, it whispers. It hides in shadows, but it is real. And in many ways, it is stronger than the love that others express openly. Because what is hidden is often what is most sacred. Their private world is the place where their true feelings live, where their defenses cannot filter the truth, and where their obsession becomes undeniable. It's easy to misinterpret an avoidant's behavior as rejection, to see their silence as coldness or their distance as lack of care. But once you understand what happens behind the scenes, you begin to see the truth. Their walls are not built to keep you out, they're built to protect themselves from the very intensity of what they feel. Every time they pull away, it's not because they don't think about you, it's because they think about you too much. Every time they stay quiet, it's not because they don't have words. It's because the words they want to say are too vulnerable to risk. Obsession has a strange way of revealing itself, and with avoidance, it shows up in the spaces no one else is allowed to see. And here's the deeper lesson: when someone's private world tells a story that their outer world hides, it's not just about them. It's about the power you hold in their life. You've touched something inside of them that they protect at all costs. You've awakened feelings they can't simply dismiss. That should remind you of your worth, your value, your ability to impact people in ways beyond what you see on the surface. Sometimes your presence is changing someone's entire world, even if they can't put it into words. So instead of doubting yourself, instead of believing the illusion of their distance, learn to see the truth in what is hidden. The obsession is there. The longing is there. The love is there. It may be buried beneath fear and wrapped in silence, but it is real. And once you see the private signs, you'll never again mistake their avoidance for apathy. You'll know that even in their silence, you echo loudly in their mind and heart. In the end, the greatest revelation is this: obsession doesn't always look like constant attention or bold declarations. Sometimes it looks like secret rituals, silent battles, and private rehearsals. But whether they show it or not, you are the thought that lingers, the presence that stays, and the connection they cannot escape. And that is the undeniable truth of what avoidants do in private when they are obsessed with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this message spoke to your heart, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means the world. It keeps this channel growing and allows me to keep bringing you powerful insights every single week. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay strong, and remember, you are more powerful than you realize. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.